Hi guys, this is Manmohan Sekho, and in this video we're gonna talk about for loop. So what is loop? Whenever we have to repeat set of statement, then we use loop. There are three different type of loop: for loop, while loop, and do while. So in this video we'll be doing a for loop. So whenever we have to repeat, take an example, if we have to print number 1 to 10, then we have to use loop because we are repeating the set of statement. That is a set, which statement? System.out.println to print any value. That we'll be doing in a program over here. So let's start with our syntax. So for loop syntax is, first we use for loop, then we have over here initialization, then semicolon, and then we have condition. Condition will always be true or false, means it on a condition will be using expression that will always result in true or false. And then we have update. Update is the value that will increase, which will cause our loop to break. So initialization, condition, and update, and then over here we have statement. So it can be one statement or it can be more than one statement. So if there are more than one statement, it is known as a block. If there is only one statement, we can skip this bracket, but mostly we use a bracket even if there is one statement. So later on, if we have to update a program, it's very easy for us to do in that way. So if condition is true, then this statement will execute. If this condition is false, then this statement will not execute and it will come out of loop, and this will continue to run as far as the condition is true. So if we start from here, means it will run one time, it can run second time, it can run third time, means it will repeat itself. That means it will repeat this statement as long as this condition is true. Let's do example for this for loop. If we have to print 1 to 5, I can do that in Java program. What I have to write down? If I have to print 1 to 5, I'll write down system.out.println 1 in a double quotes. I have to write down system.out.println, or instead of 1 to 3, what I can write down? I can store these values. Int, I can store a equals to 1, b equals to 2, c equals to 3. Okay, and then d equals to 4 and e equals to 5, and then I can write down system.out.println a, system.out.println b, system.out.println c, system.out.println d, and system.out.println e. So how many times I have to write down system.out.println? I have to write down 5 times to print only number 1 to 5. That's okay, I can write down 5 times system.out.println, it doesn't matter. But what if I have to print 1 to 100? So how many times we have to write down that? Then we have to write down system.out.println 100 times. But if you see, this thing is repeating itself. System.out.println, system.out.println, it is repeating itself. The only changes, if you see here, we are having a, then we have b, then c, then d, then e. But if you see, the value of a is 1, then the value of b is increased by 1, that means it became 2. Then the value of c is 3, value of d is 4, value of a is 5. So it is increasing by 1. So if it is the case, means I can write down, if I put value of I is 1, okay, if I don't want to use a, b, c, d, so what I'll write down, I equals to 1. Instead of a, if I write down I, that means it will print 1. Instead of over here, if I write down I plus 1, that what it will print? 2. Then I'll print I plus whatever the value here, I plus 1 plus 1, what is the value? 3. And then if I write down I plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, what is the value? 4. Means, and then I plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals to 5. So what we are doing here, if you see, we are increasing the value of whatever the initial value. What is the initial value? I, then I increase the value of I by 1, that means it became I plus 1. Now at this I added 1 to this I plus 1, whatever the initial value, I plus 1, so I added 1 to that one, it will become I plus 1 plus 1. The same way, if you see here, we are repeating the statement. I is repeated, so we are adding only one. So if we have this type of condition, we can, instead of writing these separately, we can use loop. So let's take an example for a loop. If I write down for integer I equals to 1, why I did integer, why did I used I integer? Because I is of integer type. Then I have written condition I less than equals to 5, because I have to print number 1 to 5. And then I have written I plus plus, that I plus plus is to increase the value of I by 1. And here I have written system dot out dot println I. Okay, so this is the code for repeating anything. Now if I write down this program and if I try to run it on this board, what is the starting value of I? Means I 1, then we have, then it will check condition I equals to 5. If condition is true, then this part will run. If condition is false, then this loop will not run. So I is less than equals to 5. I told you when condition is true, it will run. It hasn't incremented what I said. If condition is true, then this part will run. So this, what is this part? System dot out dot println I. And then what we'll do, once it come over here, it will go again to the beginning, and now it will not check initialization, because initialization will be done only once. Then it will go on top and check condition again. So, and it first it will increase the value I plus plus, and then it will check the value. Let's do. What is the initial value of I? 1. 1 is less than equals to 5. Condition is true. If condition is true, then it will print 1. And now what's the value? I plus plus means a value of I became 2. So next I have to print 2. So now the value of I is 2. It will check 2 less than equals to 5. Condition, because it went to the top and now the condition is true, then it will print 2. Then the value of I is 3. Then 3 less than equals to 5. Condition is true, then it will print 3. Then the value of I is in plus. So it is not coming out of a loop, because condition is always true. When the value of I was 1, the condition was true. When the value of I is 2, the condition is true. When the value of I is 3, the condition is 3. Now if I write on 4 less than equals to 5, condition is true. So the value of I is 4. So it will print 4, the value of I is 5. 5 less than equals to 5. Yeah, it is not less, but it is equal, because our condition is less than or equals to. So it will print 5. And now the value of I is 6. 6 is less than equals to 5. The condition is false. Once the condition is false, it will come out of this loop. So what it will print? So it will print 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we have written only one, system dot out dot println. In the previous I explained you that if I have to print 1 to 100, even if we have to print 1 to 100, the only changes that we have to do, instead of I less than equals to 10, what we'll write down? I less than equals to 100. So this is all for loop. We'll be having a separate series for all those programs, with a for loop, with a while, with a do while. If you have any question, please leave it in a comment section below. Thank you and have a wonderful day.